Recording. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Method Podcast. I'm Chris, and today I have a special guest today. She's a fitness wellness coach. She hosts her own podcast in the Hawaiian Islands. Here. Let's give a round of applause for motherfucking Lucy. Yay!
What's up, y'all?
Hey, what's up,
Aloha.
girl? Hey, how you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good?
Good.
Yeah, so before we start, how did I get the yes from Lucy to come on this hoe?
To come on mine.
Come on mine.
Yeah.
How did I
You
get
kept
this yes?
popping up on my feed, weirdly enough. I think it's because I was doing Hawaii podcast research.
Uh-huh.
And then like I would see these reels or whatever.
Shut your ass, for real?
And I'm like, yo, this dude's cool. I mean, anytime I run into any other Filipinos anyway, like we're automatically cool. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just liked, some of the topics and you seemed like you had a good personality. You know what I mean? So I was like, dude, come through, and I appreciate you coming on. That was
Oh, I appreciate you inviting me.
one of my favorites.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. This is going to be one of my faves.
Yay.
Because you and I been chopping it up and stuff. And, dude, yeah, listen to her stuff. What is it called?
It is called Lucy's Paradise Podcast.
Lucy's Paradise Podcast. So let me ask you, how did you start that bitch?
I had the idea for it. It's so funny because they asked me this on every podcast.
Of course.
I had the
every
idea for it,
podcast.
and I had about, and you know when you're like, oh yeah, I kind of want to, I kind of have this dream or this goal or whatever, but I kind of was pre-planning it for like 2 years, and I still have the journal that I wrote a lot of stuff in, and I actually like physically wrote in there like guests I wanted,
Yeah.
specific things like that. And I'm a huge believer in manifesting, but it's crazy even if I try to be skeptical about that, like looking back at that journal and being like, holy shit, like a lot of the stuff I wrote in there has like happened,
Yeah.
and I really wanted to do it. I talking's fun. I never shut the hell up. So
It's therapeutic as well.
Yeah.
Talking to other people with like related problems or even like related topics,
Yeah. And I like to be informed, and I like to have conversations with people, and
Oh, facts.
yeah. So there were so many things about it that I liked. I'm not really like super into like the whole camera and attention part of it.
Yeah.
But again, in order to get like certain messages out there, like you kind of have to like get to a place where you're growing, So
This is true.
and
This is true.
So when I lived in Los Angeles, that's kind of a reason why I wanted to leave, is I didn't like how obsessed everybody was with like being famous. So it was like not about creating anymore. It was just about being famous. And I liked the creating. Like I'd be stoked to be in a music video or whatever because I get to like give my ideas and like create. But as soon as you suck that fun away, like I don't give a fuck about being famous. You know what I mean? So it's like that shit was annoying. Like, and so I was like, dude, this shit's not for me. So there was a time, I mean, I was doing commercials and like movies and shit. And I was
Ooh,
like,
I got a celebrity over here. Meow.
that's not what I'm saying, but
That's what I'm saying. I'll play.
I mean, I was in Chris Brown's music video Paradise with Benny Benassi and Chris Brown. So
I'm finna look for your ass.
that was probably one of the coolest things I did. But again, you can't even see me in that fucking video. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I have like the background pictures of me in it.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like, a picture of me and Benny Benassi, but it's like, I just have the story really,
Yeah.
But I had a lot of really cool experiences like that. But yeah, it's enjoyable. I love it. I keep loving it every time I do a podcast or like people invite me on theirs, and so yeah, it's a good time.
I'm the same way. I find it more therapeutic to just talking to people instead of like I like talking to strangers because there's no bias in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Are you the type that like if you go to the DMV or whatever, like you'll try to make friends? Because like I purposely have been trying to do that now, and like to avoid being on my phone, right? Because these are the opportunities that. Like nowadays, like people are so on their phone. I realize that like we're at the bus stop or whatever. Just I'm giving random examples. I don't actually take the bus, but I'm just saying like now time or like in line at the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
As an example, we don't talk to anyone anymore. Like it.
You don't. You really
times
don't.
have changed because we're so obsessed with our phones and social media. So I've been purposely like, okay, I'm gonna like talk to this old lady. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna like make a friend here at the grocery store. So it actually, like last night, for example, I met this girl that works in my building on like a different floor. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Otherwise, if I were on my phone, I would have totally not even engaged with this person, you know? So anyway, I've been trying to do that more.
Really?
More aware in those, because you're supposed to be bored. And what the phone has taken away is our ability to be bored. You can't ever be bored anymore. As soon as you are about to be bored, you grab your phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're supposed to be bored.
Okay. To answer your question, I try to be friends with the person behind the desk. So I'll be trying to chop it up with him or her.
This motherfucker trying to get a discount.
I am. Oh my gosh. Dude, it's an arm and a leg out here, especially to register your vehicle, especially you're not in the military anymore. Oh my gosh. It's like at least 4 or 5 bands, and I'm like, oh
I think
no.
I'm about to pay like $700 for it.
7?
They were giving, it's a whole, I don't even want to get into it, but it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you offline.
So yeah, I do that. And then at the grocery store, I just listen to music. But when I'm waiting in line, the main topic in the line is like, God damn, what's up with this person in front of me? Why is he or she taking so long? And then we just go into this little rant. But yeah, that's how I start my conversations in a grocery store.
Like, motherfucker, hurry up. No.
Dude, exactly. I don't say motherfucker, but I'm like, auntie, what's up? And that's it. You know, I could be an asshole, but I'm not trying to get my ass beat once I step out of a Safeway. So I try to be super careful, but with a little tude.
Yeah.
Apostrophe tude, you know?
Interesting.
Super interesting.
Yeah, one time recently I was at the grocery store and this old lady started paying with a check and I was like, bruh.
What?
I have not seen that.
I haven't seen that in a long time either. A check?
But yeah, I had to.
You should have took a picture.
I had to gain my internal patience, you know.
Really? How long were you in line for this check transaction?
I'm not gonna lie. She was pretty quick at check writing. She's obviously a veteran check writer. So it wasn't that bad. But I was just shocked because I'm so used to everyone using their tap or their card or whatever. But it wasn't that bad. It was only like a few minutes, so it was okay. But I was just like, dang, is this gonna take a long time? But it actually didn't.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You talked about tapping the card. I saw this thing. I was TikTok. That they be scamming people with the tap. You know, like at the ATM, not the ATM machine, but you know those machines at the tellers when you're at a grocery store or whatnot, where you could slide it in
like
or
saves
tap
your information.
Yeah,
I've
seen
that.
Europe. In Europe.
My identity gets stolen all the time. But my identity has gotten stolen when I went to Europe. And I only went to one ATM. I didn't even buy anything there. I mostly had cash. But I had to because it was like towards the ending of the trip.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, like we were going to do stuff like off of our cruise ship.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, oh, you should grab some cash. And I was like, oh, damn. And I don't live there, so I don't know what's sketchy or not, you know. But I went to one ATM. And
they stole your shit.
So I was back in California, and I woke up the next day, and I think I went to go get gas.
Yeah.
And like my car didn't work, and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And yeah, they made like a huge purchase at some like sporting store
in Europe,
like that day. So I was like, fuck. But like my bank knew I wasn't in Europe, so when I went to the bank, it was cool. I could get it like fixed real quick.
Oh
and they,
my god.
Your money, and they print you out a debit card, or whatever, but. The bank I went to initially, they're like, oh, our like debit card machine's broken. So I had to drive. I had no gas. I had to drive to another branch like farther away because their print machine, it was a nightmare. I was like, this is the worst day ever. But like really wasn't that bad, you know?
Shit. I would have complained and wrote a letter.
Yeah.
Definitely wrote a letter.
I was chill. I try to be like,
good for you.
I try not to like lose my shit in situations like that, you know, like in stressful. I just like my car got towed yesterday. I was like, my truck. I was just like, whatever.
Were you parked somewhere that
I was parked illegally?
Okay. See, man.
It's still messed up though, because like my apartment building doesn't have parking spaces for everybody.
Yeah.
And I get off work at like 3 a.m, so I'm like, there's no parking. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So like last night, I just stayed up till like 6 until my neighbor went to work, and I parked my car there.
Oh, for real. So where'd you park? Like in a red or in someone else's stall?
They let you park in the fire lane, which is basically on the street. They let you park there, but you have to move it by 7. So it's like if I get off work at 3 in the morning.
It's not going to get moved at 7, yeah.
What am I going to, like, am I really going to do that? So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I just slept through my alarms. Like, I had alarms and everything. And
Yeah.
I was like, bruh. So,
Ooh.
it's a lot better, though.
I don't think knock on wood, I've never had my whip towed. Unless it's like, a flat tire or it just doesn't start. I've never gotten it towed the way you just did.
Well, one time I got towed while I was at the club.
Did you park illegally?
No, I was parked legally, but I guess you're not supposed to park at Ala Moana. I was at District.
Uh-huh.
And my friend's like, yo, your truck's gone. I think they just towed it. And I was like, I called them and I'm like, yo, like, how much is it, blah, blah. They're like, oh, we don't charge you the another day fee until tomorrow. Because it was already like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So they're like, technically you have until like tomorrow at 2 a.m. until the charges go up.
Yeah.
I said, okay, bet. I hung up the phone. I'm like, let's keep partying. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Did you get it that day?
yeah, I got it later, but I was like, let's not worry about it right now. My friends were like, what?
Hey, if you don't mind me asking, how much was that hoe?
I mean,
couple hun?
compared to California, it was nothing. It
Okay,
was
okay.
Probably what I would have spent at the club. So I was like,
oh, okay.
like, that's it. All right, bye. And I like hung up. Like, I didn't give a
okay.
shit. Yeah, I was like, I think it was like a couple hundred.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also realized that when I went there, I was like, really? I was like, I would have paid y'all like $150 to not tow my shit. And
Yeah.
I'm like, but yeah, compared to California, California would be like $500.
Oh, definitely. Off rep.
Yeah, and then like, yeah, they're assholes. So like, they'll probably charge you every 30 minutes or some crazy shit like that, like just price gouging. It's insane. But my apartment
Cali.
building is totally a scam. So like, the fact that my truck even got towed is like kind of fucked up.
For real.
Yeah,
Fuck
'cause
that.
technically you're not even supposed to park in a fire lane. Like,
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So like, the fact that they let us do that, but then are like, oh, but at 7 you gotta move it. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You know
What part of the island do you live? Is your apartment or is
I
your
live in Salt
complex? Huh?
I live in Salt Lake.
Is it gated?
Yeah.
Gated. Does it have its own swimming pool and all like workout? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Bougie. No, not really bougie because
I like gated communities.
yeah. Sometimes gated communities don't stop the people
We don't
though.
have enough of them here, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Facts.
We need,
True.
I don't know. That's not what we need, but
Yeah.
I just need to buy a house. That's
VA
where I'm
loan.
at. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Hey, VA loan.
I'm remembering all these stresses, and I'm like, just get to that.
VA loan.
Anyone wants to donate money for me to buy a house?
Do it. Hey, I'll drop her at. Start a GoFundMe page, this and the third, and all this bullshit. Lucy, are you mingling,
Yeah, I was like, you want me to be on your relationship
single
method podcast and
not
I'm the
talk
one
about
who's
this shit?
horrible at relationships. I'm single.
Okay.
and Yeah, I've been single since last summer.
Last summer, so that not long.
Yeah.
That's just several months.
Yeah.
Oh, was it a good or a bad breakup, or was it mutual? Mutual.
That one's tough, because it wasn't mutual, but I don't really want to talk about her too much. But
Yeah, don't.
Which, by the way, she's already like accused me of talking to her on past podcasts, which is not true. I've never once talked about her.
She did not talk to you, and if you're listening to this right now,
talk about
she ain't
you.
talking to you, Mitch.
I've never talked about her on a podcast.
Yeah.
I definitely talked about past relationships.
Yeah.
That was the one I stayed away from, but it wasn't mutual. But she did break up with me a couple times, and then
it's one of them.
like, I'll go into it a little bit. She did like accuse me of cheating because of like something her friend said, and I was like, bro, are you serious right now?
He said, she said type of situation.
Yeah, like, I'm not
Those
that,
are stupid.
I'm not that dumb. Yeah. I was also accused, not to like talk about drama, but I was also
Fucking do it. This is a
was-
safe place. Safe place.
I was also accused of because like I brought my friend around, and like that's someone they suspected that like I was cheating with, and I'm like, why would I bring her around your friends?
Guy or girl?
It's a girl, but I was like, I would be a horrible cheater if I brought her around. Like, this is my friend I'm cheating on you with. Like,
yeah.
like what? And then like I guess there were conversations we had, but that were like not what we had, and I was like, I don't know what you guys thought you heard, but 100% not true. My friend, that particular friend, is actually married with kids, and I was like, what? At least pick one of my gay friends, you know? Like, damn. So I mean, did she have a did she have a little crush on me? Maybe, but is that my problem? No.
No, it's not. You can't control another person's feelings and emotions.
But bottom line is I try to have genuine values when it comes to relationships. It's not that I've never like cheated in the past, but I know like that's not who I am.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't even tell a white lie without having like immense guilt. So like for me, being a cheater I would not be able to live with myself. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I try to have authentic relationships, and yeah, I don't have one right now, but yeah, if you have a friend that's not, I would say like sweet, kind,
not a nut job,
not drama. Yeah, yeah, but like every girl's fucking crazy. And I feel like
is this true? Like in your let's say
experience.
What's the political in your sex pool?
In my community,
in your community, what is the typical female that you want, or that you look for, or that you're into?
Okay, well, that's a lot.
Is it a lot? Oh, give me 5.
No.
Okay.
I'm just, because the wording to me is everything, and I'm not really looking for anything.
Okay.
Like I'm not actively, like I'm not on any social media apps.
Atta girl.
Apps, so like you won't even be able to find me on any of those. Not that those don't necessarily work. I think like in this phase of my life, it's like I'd rather just meet somebody organically or like through a friend, or
I like that shit.
when I'm out somewhere.
Yeah.
So I nix the whole dating app thing. Now, will I go on a dating app maybe in the future? Maybe. Right now, no. Right now, like I said, I'm not actively looking, so I'm not gonna like go out to the club, and my mission isn't to like go meet.
Get booty.
Yeah, like no, I definitely, and like we talked about that before. Actually.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. I just think that like your intention matters, and if you go out with the intention of like just getting laid, like you're not necessarily gonna find like a really solid connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like exchanging energy with somebody is super valuable, and like I don't take it lightly as I might have in the past. I don't think like now at this maturity level that I am at now in my life, I'm not just like willy-nilly with stuff like that. Like I'd rather be intimate with somebody that I'm in like a serious relationship with. And to me, I think it means more. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like, yeah.
I like your way of thinking, because me and the boys and some females in this little circle that I be talking to, we talked about how people my age now, we're not trying to bang anything. We're just trying to find a connection. Or like they'd rather, I don't know, like the intellectual conversations are way more important than just sex. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
there's a lot of different elements to relationships.
Yeah, but I think
people prioritize them, you know, in their own way.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
To some people that is important, and that's the only thing they care about. So they do want to go out and get laid, and that's all they care about. I'm not that person, and I'm just at a different, like I want to find somebody that's like ambitious and like somebody who wants to like build a similar life that I want to build. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't make sense for me to like just go and hook up with people, because the people that are doing that are obviously not the people that think like me.
Yeah.
Right? Those are going to be the people that are like focused on their self-care, do maybe like in the gym all the time or whatever. Like,
no knock on them though.
No knock. No. I mean, if you want to go have your hoe stage or whatever, like I think age appropriate is also, it's a thing, right? Like after I got divorced, for sure I was a hoe. You know what I mean? But
of course, we all go through that.
Yeah. And I think to some level it's good, because you find out what does not work for you.
Yes.
And that behavior doesn't work for me, and I don't like to live that way. And so I just try to do things that I'm going to be proud of. You know what I mean? And yeah. So also I'm trying to be the best version of myself for whoever I find, you know what I mean, out there.
Oh, that's good.
I'm really focused on like myself and like self-care and like stuff like that. And that's what I spend a lot of my energy on.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say like I'm not looking, because I'm not actively looking.
Yeah.
I'm focused more on the internal myself so that I can attract something that aligns. So.
Oh, great. Let me ask you this then. Have you ever had one of these moments where you, hold on, it was a question too. I can't believe I liked her or thought she was cute moment? Like, oh, you like, oh man, she's hot, or yeah, she kind of cute, but then along the lines, you're like, damn, why did I ever like her? She's not even that cute anymore. Has that ever happened to you?
For sure. And I think, you know, people get so obsessed with physical or outward like beauty, but you have to remember that like, so I read this book and it's really good shit. I'm like gonna space on what the name of it is.
Ooh, girl, you read? I'm just playing.
I read a lot. Yeah, I'm like fucking nerd.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm a geek.
I'm trying to think. Oh, what is it called? It's called Deeper Dating.
Mhm.
The author is this gay guy who actually has a PhD. But it was really interesting. I didn't realize that reading the book, and then I was like, oh my god, like crazy. Like we should go out. But it was a really interesting book. And in this book, they talk about, you know, and I'm not gonna like quote it directly or anything like that. But basically, the theme of it is that looks fade away. So it teaches you how to approach dating in a different way because which is good and bad, but people have internal, you know, beauty on the inside where like their personality
This is facts.
makes them, because there's a lot of girls I dated where I might not have initially thought they were attractive,
Yeah.
but then after like talking to them and like learning about their life or like seeing like them with their friends, I started to like them more.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And this one girl that I recently was seeing, I I went to one of her comedy shows, and then that's when I was like, oh my god, I like her, because I was like, I like the way her brain works.
Comedy
Like,
show.
She's fucking smart. you
Have
know?
I been to one of these comedy shows and watched her on stage?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think I know who it is. I'm not gonna say it on air, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. This happened to me years back where I thought like a female was like super pretty and she had the intellectual mind too, right? But then we started working together, and then she got pissy all of a sudden, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I thought you were cute in that type of way. And I was like, oh, I'm done.
So this is
She became super ugly.
this is where like what I said earlier about every girl's crazy. So it's like, hear me out. Every girl has a crazy to an extent.
Yeah.
Right. So what happens is you find a girl or whatever, and like you figure out what her crazy level is.
Uh-huh.
And some people are totally manageable, and some people not. Right. So, but I think, but that's everybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the whole toxic thing. Like everyone's obsessed with these fucking ism words that they learn from like the internet.
Name me one. I don't think I'm following.
Like narcissist. Like everyone wants to fucking use that word.
Oh.
Narcissist.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. You're
Or
narcissistic.
toxic.
You're narcissistic. Yeah, you
know what I mean?
toxic. Yeah, I
But-
hear that
but-
shit a lot.
That one is more annoying because like
Mm.
people think that they can diagnose other people, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't even know like anything about narcissism, right?
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I'm just saying like where was I going with that? But
I really don't know.
I
I'm just like,
really don't.
I'm like,
I think
tangent it up, girl.
That's my belief anyway. That everyone has a certain level of crazy. It's not like,
Uh-huh.
oh, are you crazy? No, like, okay, if I literally like did the worst things I could do to you, like take, whatever matters to you in life. And let's just say I took all of that away. I did that. Like,
Yeah.
you would feel some level of like upset.
Yeah,
know?
definitely, yeah.
Or if you went to a bar and you're like drinking or whatever, and somebody just gets in your face, like you're gonna get a level of, right? That's my point. Everybody has that level to an extent. Now, girls or people that have gone through traumas in their life,
Mm-hmm.
they have it more, right? So there are different ways of crazy, I guess, right? Like when you're like, oh yeah, this girl's toxic or whatever. They can be, I don't know if it's worse. They could be like extrovertedly expressing that toxicity, right?
Uh-huh.
Where they're just like shitty in relationships. Maybe they ignore you or whatever. And then you have the opposite where like people retreat because people they react differently to traumas,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
You
this
go
is
into
true.
fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I think basically my point is when you don't know a lot about somebody, right? You get to know them. That's great. Oh yeah, my life. Oh yeah, this is my family, blah, blah, blah. That's all BS. When you really learn about somebody is when you go through shit with them.
Yeah.
So when something bad happens to them, right? You see how they interact with those people.
Yeah.
When their best friend and them are fighting, you see how they deal with those conflicts. That's where you really learn somebody, when there's moments of conflict. How does this person act under pressure? How does this person act during a conflict? Because if you're going to do life with them, You have to do life with how they react to conflict and how they react to traumatic things that happen to them.
Well fucking said, Lucy.
Yeah. So if you are dating a person and they cannot react in a way that's in a team effort, right? Like something bad happened and they retreat or they don't communicate with you. Like that's how they're going to deal with every problem that you have in your relationship.
Oh, you cut them loose.
So you just have to figure out what will work for you. And that is one of the most important elements. You got to figure out what works for you first before I can even go and look for someone who matches up to that. Right?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of my focus is on me, because if I can figure out what will work for me, it's really easy to then when I go into the dating world, oh, this is how you deal with that. That's not going to work for me. Because I want to be in a relationship with somebody that understands the teamwork aspect of being a successful team. You know, and it's also really hard to date me and be a loser. I want someone who pushes me. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
Like, you have to
push
me and you make me better in these ways that I can these ways, you know? So that's what I like.
So let me ask you, if you're in the, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you're in a relationship right now, right? And it got to the point where this person isn't pushing you anymore to be better. Are you going to drop her or a conversation will stir?
Yeah, I mean, I think, definitely a conversation. I mean,
okay.
And you also kind of assess like how much this person means to you. Right? But I mean, people also go through different things in life. You know, life has ups and downs. And sometimes in a relationship, and I've learned this from being married, is sometimes you're at 80% and they're at 20. Or sometimes they're at 20% and you got to be that other percentage for them.
Yo, and fuck so that.
There's also that too. I'm not saying to allow it to be a habit, because once it becomes a habit, it starts becoming who they are. Yeah. Right. So you got to be careful of that. I'm just talking about the small instances where like something maybe happened in their life, lost a parent or something like that. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Those specific short lulls. Now, if it starts being a pattern, like I dated a girl who always talked about working out and getting in shape and going to the gym, but never once went into my gym in my apartment building. I was like, oh yeah, I have a gym downstairs. Like go. Never once.
All talk, no
go. After a while, that shit's gonna annoy the shit out of me.
Bruh, let me tell you, this happens to me all the time. I'm not gonna say, but people that I talk to would say, oh, I want to get healthier. I want to get fit, right? And I'm like, okay, you know what to do. You don't need me to like egg it on you, right? So I would, give them, hey, start eating healthy, go to the gym, even take a walk. Fuck the gym, go for a daily walk. This and the third. And I still see the same person complaining and not moving. So I totally understand where you're coming from with what you just said. And it hits home because I'm like, oh my God. And sometimes, you know what? No, it's happening to me right now. It's like, I don't even say anything. It's like, oh, I feel fat. Okay.
But like, so this is the thing though, like, and not with everybody you have this responsibility, but with my friends, and if you're in my close circle of friends, you know this about me, I will call you out. Because I love and care about you. I will be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. You know, you've talked about this goal of yours for 6 months now, and I haven't seen you do anything. Even my one friend, Tyler, that I just had on my podcast, he calls me all the time when he's like, oh, I haven't been to the gym.
Get your ass out.
What are you going to do to change it, though?
Oh, okay.
I think being a really good friend is giving your friends those accountability. Now, not all relationships you're going to do at that level.
Yeah.
You could be a coworker that's just like bitching, and you're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But you're doing a disservice by not calling them out. You should be like, bro, you've been talking about this for 7 months. Get your ass in the gym. Listen to motivational podcasts from whoever's going to inspire you.
Yeah.
And just do something. Do a little bit, Find a new hobby. Even if it's a hike or something.
Girl, I like the way you speak, because my ass would be like, look here, bitch, you get the fuck up. Like,
I think we have some responsibility to push each other to be better. You know what I mean? Like, why is this... have you thought about that? Why is this person in your sphere of influence? Why did God put you next to that person and that person's always talking to you for you to ignore him?
Oh, that hits. Wow. Wait, were you asking me, or is this...
I want you to think about that.
Oh no, I
putting it
just
out
did.
there
I was like,
for
God
you
damn,
to
that
think
shit.
about that.
That shit was horror. That's a fucking bar.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my.
I'm just thinking of like the greater purpose.
Yeah.
You might have you being in that moment with this person could have been like something bigger than you think, right?
Mm.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Hmm. That's
But
that's a thinker.
I'm just a believer of like everything's a test.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like everything's a test. So
It
like
is.
if someone's gonna come to me with something, I'm like, all right, this is a test. Like I'm gonna treat it like such.
God doesn't give its toughest assignments to its weakest soldiers. I don't know if I botched that hoe, but it sounded good in my head. Yeah,
It's
probably.
not the setback, it's the comeback.
Yeah, there it is.
Like,
There
we're
it
just
is.
like saying quotes.
Let me ask you. This is from a follower.
Ooh.
Can you date someone with kids?
Yeah, I fucking love kids. I'm okay. First of all, I'm a kid.
Okay.
I'm like, my one friend Harmony. I'm like, yo, let's. I want to go to Dave and Buster's. Bring your son. Like, I love kids. I don't. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I guess some people would see it as like a baggage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Me, not so much. I mean, kids are miracles, you know, and they're like the future generation. So I love kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a big deal.
I like your answer. I think young me would be like hell no.
I like to
older
see
now.
how,
Older me now is
how
like yeah.
people discipline their kids and how they interact with their kids.
You
That
talking
I
about
find
like
interesting.
the actual parent or
Yeah,
the
because you learn a lot about somebody, right? Like this is the person I'm going to be a parent now with, maybe
Yeah.
in the future. So how do they discipline their kid, or how do they treat their kid? You know
oh
what I'm saying?
I treat them like real adults.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you know what?
yeah, yeah.
Not to an extent, but
I'm
I
sure
do.
you're a great dad,
I still
you
do
know?
give like the ass whoopings, but it only takes one, like one good ass whooping, and then like they're straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I would spank my kid. I'm not
Ew,
against it.
why?
I'm not against it, but I think I would challenge my kid to think about things,
Hmm.
you know? And I mean, that would probably be like my last resort. Like I don't want my kid to be a fucking fugitive, you know what I mean?
He won't.
But-
He or she won't. You just got to give him like a good whooping.
Yeah.
Just like one time.
well, I was
it's
a-
culture. It's
I-
not abuse, right?
I just I'm just saying it wouldn't be like my first thought, you know what I mean? I would rather
Okay.
there's other things you can do, like there are like in the military, right? Like it has to match
The crime has to
crime.
match the punishment.
yeah.
That type shit.
There are other ways that you can punish kids that are they'll get the point across. Like you
Mm.
take their electronics away, you can't you know what I mean? Like
That's a
making
biggie.
them do other things. My mom used to make me read the dictionary, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
But look
like,
at you now. You have a
smart.
mass abundance of words that come out of your mouth. That type shit. My biggest, I guess, punishment for like my teens was taking their door away. That was like the big one.
Yeah.
Like I had to, cause they're too
see
old
that.
for me to like
that.
spank and hit or whatever. They found ways to get away, to go around, going on the internet, cause I took their electronics away. So they found other ways. So the best,
Damn hackers.
yeah, right. So the best thing that I had like up my sleeve was take their privacy. And
Yeah.
what better way to take their privacy away is take their bedroom door.
I-
So when I walk, I'm like, oh, yep, I see you, dog. The only privacy they're gonna get is like in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But other than that, boy, their little brothers and sisters coming in the room, running amok. I don't give a fuck.
Again, I'm not a parent,
shit.
so I have opinions that are not based on using them in actual life. But besides
Yeah.
my nephews are incredible human beings. They're
Uh-huh.
so smart. One of my nephews is working to go to the Air Force Academy.
Hey, that's what's
My
up.
other nephew, he's around the same age. He's looking at you know, an ROTC scholarship, something like that. And you know, I try to encourage them and just be like, I'm gonna support whatever decision you do, you know, or you choose.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of them. My nephew just got his Billy Mitchell Award in the Civil Air Patrol.
What's that?
The Civil Air Patrol is an auxiliary for the Air Force, so they do like search and rescue missions. And I actually did that when I was younger, and I got my Amelia Earhart Award, which is cadet captain.
Uh-huh.
So my nephew's a couple promotions away from cadet captain, and so it's to me, it's to see him like kind of following my footsteps in a way.
Yeah.
and right now he's like training up for the Air Force Academy, so I'm like sending him workouts and stuff, and he's trying them out. But my nephews are incredible, and they're like incredibly smart,
Yeah.
super athletic, and I'm just really proud of all of them. My other nephew just got his finance license, and has like a scholarship doing finance right now, and he's doing incredible.
Oh.
So I'm super proud of my nephews. So I think I would be a pretty decent parent because I don't parent my nephews, but I've been very involved in their lives.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
they're like my pride and joys, you know?
You know what? Down the future, we will see. If it ever fucking happens, I would like an update and be like, Lucy, nope.
I went to my friend's house
I'd have been
and her
on that ass.
her baby had his first steps with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was like training him. I'm like, yo,
I bet you the mom's like super
let's
jelly.
build your legs up. So I was like practicing, and then I had my necklace.
Yeah.
And it was like dangling.
So he or she was trying
to get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Crystal. And he had his first steps, and now he's walking all over the place.
Oh, you can't stop that shit. When that happens, you can't stop that. Hell no. Here's another question from a person. So this person, he listens. It's a he. He listens to your podcast and he listens to mine.
Oh my God.
So he wants to know what separates our podcast from the other podcasts on the island. So this is a local boy. Yeah. What separates us from the other ones?
Well, I think.
What do you think?
Clearly, a really clear line is that you talk about relationship stuff a lot more. My podcast, it's a lot more open. And it's a little more interview style / anything political that involves Hawaii. I don't think you really talk much about like political shit. Yours is like relationships.
Fuck no. I will. I'm on their head if I ever talk about that shit.
I think that's how we differ. Like mainly, I think. But thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, dead ass.
It's dope that he watches both of ours. So thank
right?
You for that.
Yeah. I think it's what makes us different is because a lot of the podcasts here, and I'm not knocking on them, but they talk about the Hawaiian culture. Like you hear it everywhere, and I think with ours,
I love it.
Your podcast, like I haven't came across like the Hawaiian culture. You talk about, you had what's that motherfucker? A tiger?
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, Joe Exotic. You had Harold on your shit, and I wasn't even talking about like any Hawaiian stuff. And you know me, I'm not even knowledgeable in that stuff, so I don't even want to try and talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what separates us from them, and also like, I don't know, we're like super consistent with our shit. Like I'm not gonna lie, we're consistent.
I think so.
I know other podcasters out there that I had on here, they're consistent too.
Ooh.
So like ups to them too, but yeah, you and I we're consistent with our shit.
Yeah, I think so. My goal too for this year is to be on more podcasts. So I
would love to be on more. Yeah.
I've been on one, the Smoking Section podcast so far this year. Last year I think I was on like 3 or 4 different ones. But it's awesome to like be able to like connect with people in different states.
Facts. Yeah.
Come on, let me talk about this. Like the guy I just went on, his name is Corpse, and I went on, it's called the Smoking Section podcast, and like, I'm like, it's so funny you have someone who doesn't smoke on your podcast. Like, this is hilarious, So
was this the one that's over on your page online? Was it that one?
I think I put on my story.
Okay.
But, it's on Spotify, but it was cool because we got to kind of talk about like, we talked about like weed specifically and like why I don't smoke weed anymore, like stuff like that. But it was interesting because he had because he's a stoner. So he had like a different perspective.
I miss that shit.
We kind of got to like talk about that. So, I mean, it's a good time. But I want to get Kamaka Diaz on my podcast. That would be like really cool.
Kamaka Diaz, who's that?
He's the one that has the Keep It Aloha podcast.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. I've seen that.
He said he's down. So.
Oh, where?
Yeah, and he was having surgery, I guess. So hopefully he's feeling better and. I can reach out again, but
definitely do.
That'd be a goal for sure.
Definitely do.
Then I can have one that we talk about Hawaii shit.
Oh man, hell yeah. That'll be dope. Hell yeah. That'd be dope. I remember when I started this, and I was just blasting the text, right, or the DMs. He was one of them, and I don't want to put out his business or whatever. He was going through some stuff, but I did reach out to him. I just never reached back. My dumbass. I'm just bad at that shit, you know?
I actually saw him out, and I like thought it was him, and I was like, I'm not gonna bother him. And then it ended up being him, and I was like, dang it, I should have talked to him. But
right.
It's all good. Do it next time.
When you're walking around the island, do people notice you or notice your voice? And
what is so funny? So, yes, my friend Kayla came to visit from LA.
Okay.
And the timing was crazy too because it was like 2 a.m. So we went out. It was her birthday. So like, I'm gonna take you. We're gonna sing you some birthday songs. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I gotta show her a good time on her birthday.
Oh, definitely.
So we went out for a little bit. Now we're walking back to the car, and I parked at International Marketplace. So usually when I go out, I kind of stay around there. I like International Marketplace and the places over there. But me and her were just chit-chatting. We're walking. And then this girl said something about a podcast. I actually didn't hear it. My friend Kayla heard it. And she said, hey, I think that girl's talking to you. And I was like, what? I turned around. And she goes, yeah, I watch your podcast. And like, she was with her boyfriend. And she's like, oh, yeah, like I think my boyfriend should go on. And she was like promoting her boyfriend to come on the podcast. And I was like,
drunk?
oh, shit.
She's drunk?
No, she seemed pretty sober.
Okay.
And then she was like, yeah, he used to do drugs and he don't do drugs no more. And like, no. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. But like, I'm very open. By the way, if anybody wants to come on my podcast, I'm very open to having, a wide range of people. I'm not really gatekeeping that, but, it was interesting. It was really cool. My friend was visiting. I was like, what the hell? And I was like, yo, that's the first time anyone's like noticed that.
Hey, that
was pretty cool. And just the fact that it was in Waikiki is kind of cool too, I think.
Atta girl.
Yeah, so it's cool.
I got one more from a person, and this might be the last one. So having money. Okay, so it was a long one. Having money and success does not disqualify a person from being a horrible partner. Why do people want a person with their shit together, and when they get that, they get intimidated and decides to leave them for a lesser value person?
That sounds like some trauma he's bringing up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's break this down. So you want to read it again just a little slower? I'm not dumb. I'm just
having. No, I'm playing. Having money and success does not disqualify a person from being a horrible partner. So if you have money and you're still a shitty person, you are still a shitty person. Yeah? And then and then the question is, why do people want a person with their shit together, and when they get that, they get intimidated and decide to leave them for a lesser value person? So
well, that sounds like they're not ready to receive that, right?
Oh, okay. I can see that now, yeah.
If you maybe you're not at the most successful place that you are, right?
And that could be intimidating for that person?
It depends on the person, but if you do find yourself intimidated by that, I mean, I guess one option would be to like date someone, and this is very also like the wording, like someone lesser, like this is all subjective because like what is his version of lesser? You know what I mean? I don't know, but.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right.
You know
so let's say it's money then.
I think what he's trying to say is like someone who maybe.
What's a she though? It's a she that asked this one.
Oh, it's a girl that asked.
Yes. Thank you.
So let's just say it sounds like she's the breadwinner. She dated a guy who couldn't fucking handle it. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like she dated a guy that couldn't handle it or wasn't up to par. So in reality, they do you a favor when they do that. Because if they realize that they are intimidated by you, or they're not at a place where they feel like they could be an equal partner, they should just not date you. Go date somebody, you know what I mean? And when people tell me, oh yeah, you're too much, okay, go get less.
I like Lucy coming in.
I'm gonna be less for you.
Yeah.
If you don't want to date somebody that goes to the gym and eats healthy and like ambitious and does these things, then go date somebody else.
Girl, you went in on that one. Yeah.
I think that's what happened to her. Now I'm just guessing.
Fuck it. That's what happened.
I'm guessing based on your question and the way that you worded your question, it makes it sound to me that, or maybe, I don't know, or maybe it's an observation because she did say like, oh, just because you're successful, it doesn't make you a great partner. Right. You know, what that shows is that individually you're great, right? You can do things for yourself.
A, B, C, and D.
In a successful way. But then when you get a partner, you might not be good at that. And that is a transition to the learning curve. Is, okay, how are we going to be a team? That's definitely a learning curve. But I love how I'm talking about it like I'm an expert. Okay.
Yeah,
By the way,
you know what?
This is
Yeah.
not based on it. I was married for like a year, so I don't know shit.
No, man, I like to hear other people's, because I think everyone, they've heard my shit. So
Yeah.
hearing other people's perspective on like certain topics and certain things, it's refreshing. So Lucy,
So the
go ham.
person that realizes, dang, I feel intimidated by whoever.
Yeah.
They need to look at themselves and ask themselves, why do I feel intimidated by this? And that's what they got to work on. You know, like,
Yeah.
is this person making more money than you, and that's making you feel like emasculated in a way, or is this person more ambitious than you, and then you're realizing like, you know, I'm not as ambitious as them, or maybe I'm not as fit as them, and I'm not as like consistent in the gym.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, there's ways to change that. If you don't want to feel that way, then you can start going.
Then fucking do it.
Then
Just
you-
do it. Nike. God damn.
Yeah. Then
Uh-huh.
you could, I don't know. But that's an interesting one. I want to know more. I want to know the drama, like around that
Right?
one.
I want to know the tea. These
I
random
wanna know
people.
what happened. But I think that's kind of what it sounds like. It sounds like she met this person, and you're okay, and that's happened to me. Like I've dated people, and then they just like disappeared because they did not feel like
They're up to
up
par.
to par or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like you made a prejudgment before I was able to do anything, but that's fine because, when someone leaves, you should let them.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Don't hold on.
yeah, don't
be a
do
jack.
that. And I say that, and I still hold on. I hold out.
You have a heart, though. You have a
I
good
ho-
heart.
I hold out hope. But I forever live in the friend zone.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I remember you talking about that shit too. That's hilarious. Y'all should listen to our episode on her platform. It was funny.
Yeah.
Her friend.
I don't know. Being single is weird.
Uh-huh.
It's weird, but I just every time I kind of like get down or lonely or whatever, I just think to myself like,
It could be worse.
No, I try to imagine like the person that is gonna find me. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And so that I try to, instead of like, oh, like feel bad about myself, I just try to focus on that, and
That's
then
good.
how great that feeling is gonna be like when I do meet them. So I try to focus on that, like what would they be like, or like
Oh.
stuff like that. So
Ooh, I had this discussion with Tiff, my wife, and like if we could live today as single humans, right? She told me that she wouldn't be able to adapt or adjust to what's, the whole dating scene.
oh
I told her, like, to be real, like I would have been like, fuck dating. I'd be all about me now.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
just fuck the females. Like if I have the life that I have right now, I'm doing me. I'll take care of, the kids and this and the third. But I think I'd be able to successfully live the single life. Opposed to her where she doesn't know what she would do. She said she would have like a hard time because there's a lot of fuckboys out here. So yeah.
But you wouldn't get like lonely.
Fuck no. Oh my gosh. PORN. God damn. Why the fuck not? You feel me? I mean, dang.
Yeah, but that's not the same. That's not as. I don't think it's fulfilling as like in a relationship way.
You're right. It's not fulfilling, but however,
I personally like. I'm not a fan of porn.
that's good.
I think it's
Don't be.
horrible.
Yeah.
for-
Us guys,
horrible.
we learned our
for your
stroke
brain.
from the best. But anywho, no, being like in a relationship, I think being older, because if we've gone through it, we're able to like not even think about it because
Kind of like it's better to have loved and lost than never loved before.
there it is.
Kinda like
Yeah.
that.
So we've
you're like,
experienced
I've
it.
experienced.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I know what to do. I know what to expect. If it does happen, it's gonna happen. And the loving part about it is that when you're old and when it does happen, it's organic because you're not on the sites. You're just doing you. You just happen. It just happened along where you're doing you and someone came along and just matched your shit.
Yeah,
So-
I imagine like me being at the bookstore and like running into somebody.
Exactly. Like, ooh, oh, what is that? How to be a superior man? No, it's this book, Where the Wild Things Are. Oh, wow.
Wow, thanks. Bitch, why are you reading that?
Right. The illustrations are
I
fantastic.
can't read them.
You know what I'm saying?
God.
But yeah, I do miss a Barnes and Noble. I ain't gonna front. Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have one on the island, I don't think.
My wife is in there somewhere. I don't know which one, but she's walking around. She better be reading some good shit. If you're reading some shit, I'm gonna be like,
What's good shit to you? Autobiographies, fantasy. Is fantasy like good shit? Because I read a lot of like
I guess. I don't know.
fictional fantasy type shit.
I think just someone who reads would be cool.
Even how about magazines? Is that okay?
No, like books.
You want books?
Yeah.
Like no
intellectual person.
Like no pictures in that hoe. Just
That's probably just why I'm single. Like everyone's just dumb. No,
Harry Potter books are okay.
Just kidding. I love Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
Huge Harry Potter fan.
Okay.
I read the
first fantasy books.
I read the first 4 twice, and then I read the last 2. But, yeah, I Slytherin all the way. I mean, I'm wearing green.
Oh,
gang.
Ooh, gang,
Yeah.
gang, bitch.
Yeah.
How about what's it called? You ever chicken soup? Those chicken soup books.
Yeah.
Are they? If a person's reading that, are you okay with that?
Yeah. I mean,
Just any
I love
type
how
of
you're
book.
like, can they read? If you can read, that's a huge.
I mean, duh. I
power
mean,
to-
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But have the focus to actually
I'm
read
not-
an entire
I'm
book
not
or a
trying
novel.
to judge what you read.
You know what? Definitely judge.
You know what I'm saying?
Fuck it.
It sounds very judgy.
I'm fucking doing it.
It would be dope if you were a reader.
Uh huh.
That's cool, whatever. But I mean, audiobooks, they have the same function, but
Mm-hmm.
it's better like neurologically to like actually read a book
For real?
because you're like reading the pages.
Yeah.
It's different than listening.
Oh, that's facts.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what's up. When I'm like training exercises in the army or like when we're out in the field, I actually bring a book.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do.
I-
I'm not on Netflix or nothing. I'm
I
just
go back and forth.
Oh, really?
I'll-
From
I'll-
Netflix to book?
I have an I have an audiobook
Oh.
and then I'm reading like 4 different books right now. And then I have an audiobook. I'm listening to Spare,
Uh-huh.
the one about Prince Harry.
Oh,
It's pretty interesting.
is it?
Yeah, because
Huh.
he has a pretty interesting perspective, being like not the king. He's like the prince, you know.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like how much the media has like scrutinized him.
Yeah.
His whole life, and like then the book's called Spare. Like he's just like the spare person. Like that's fucked up, dude. Like what?
Oh,
And-
shit.
yeah,
I didn't think about it like
he was in
that.
the military.
Yeah, I know that.
So
I know that.
So that right now I'm in those chapters, and it's pretty interesting.
Let me ask you, you're reading 4 different types of books right now. How do you keep them like separate? Like when you're
They're separate books.
no shit, but I'm just saying like how do you not intertwingle like the plots from each book? Because if I was reading, maybe I'm just not as smart as you, but if I was reading 4 books at the same time, I'd definitely be like, oh shit, this character is supposed to be in that book. This plot is in this book. I'll be totally fucked.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't really know, but I think one easy way is like one book, for example, is written by like Trump's relative. So that's like all about Trump.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
that
okay.
one's easy.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like a story.
Mm-hmm.
So like obviously the characters in the story have nothing to do with Trump. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
in my
So
mind,
you
I
could-
can separate those fine. But
Ah.
there's a couple others too that I'm reading. But like one is really just about like the mind and like consciousness.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're just different
Oh.
topics. So I guess that's probably it.
To be in your brain, Lucy, I'd have fun. I'd be like,
I've had an interesting life.
bruh,
Interesting life.
yeah. I'll say yeah. We all do.
Yeah,
Yeah. Lucy, that was fun.
that was fun.
That was fucking fun as hell. Do you have any shout outs or anything before we dip out?
Kamaka Diaz, come on my podcast.
Yeah, Kamaka
Let's go.
Diaz.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then,
Boy,
if anyone
come on.
has any single, very minimal, crazy, kind people that want to hang out,
That could pump her own gas. Yeah.
yeah. Bonus points if you cook.
Cook, what kind?
I'm like shouting out to my future wife right now.
Yeah, if you could
Like,
cook.
If you cook, I love food. If you're a sweetheart and if you celebrate holidays and you have minimal family trauma, holla.
Holler at her. Where can these people find you at?
Oh my god, my shit's so you can watch my podcast, Lucy's Paradise Podcast, or add me on Instagram, Lucy in the Gym with the Weights.
There it is.
Gang gang.
Gang, ho. With that being said, shout out to KO Studios. Thank you for the lovely home. Rafi Bite, thank you for the lovely beats, man. I'm Chris.
I'm Lucy.
Yeah, there it is. And we out this bitch. Peace. Aloha. What the fuck?
Yay.
Yes.
Gang, gang.
And then I'm going to name this Lucy Bear.